Joined here by Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer, and we got this nice view. We got you in the shade here today. This is kind of a new look at training camp. What are your thoughts on it? It seems like every year there's something kind of different about it, and this is the biggest one here.
Well, we were just talking about it. I agree with you. I mean, it just creates great backgrounds, great views. We're sitting here watching our team do a walkthrough on a mock game and just overlooking them, and it doesn't get any better than this. And yes, if you're wondering back at home, it is as nice as it looks. So it's almost a little chilly, Nick, and I know if back there we're looking at 110 degrees back home.
Yeah, we have a rule that if you're going to complain about it being cold, only to people here.
That's it.
No one back home, because they don't want to hear it. Talk a little bit about that with the tower. You know, you guys sit up there, and then sometimes when two practices are going on, two fields, you go on one side, other side, you can really get a good view of everything.
It can be sensory overload when you got a lot going on up there. The great news is they got it all on tape, and we get to go back and take a long, hard look at it in a slow motion, if you will, and observe what's going on out there, because there's a lot of great things going on. We've got some really good young players that are pushing already, and you know, we say it every year how it's going to be impossible to cut to 53. This is going to be a hard one, and you know, there's a lot of competition at every position group, and you know, just feel like things are really coming together for this team, and a lot to get fired up about this football team.
Yeah, 2 days with the pads on. That's when you really can kind of see. And when those pads come on, is it really important to look at the interior of the line? That's where the strength is, offensive, defensive line, because it's hard to evaluate until they're really mixing it up, and that's what they've been doing.
Well, that's it, and especially with those bigs, if you will, the interior linemen, both offense and defense. A lot of people are curious as to how Mozzie's doing, and you know, how some of these young guys are doing. He's doing outstanding, and you know, he's going to be everything we thought he was in terms of, especially in terms of the run part of it. He's getting because he was never asked to do it at Michigan a lot, but we're seeing the flashes we thought we'd see in terms of him being able to put some pressure on the quarterback. Got some work to do, but he can certainly do it.
One of the things that head coach Mike McCarthy said last week that I thought was really interesting is that we really didn't want to schedule practice with another team. We didn't feel like we needed it. We have so much depth here that it's better to just practice against your own. What does that just say about the depth from 1 to 90 here?
Well, it says all you need to say. I mean, we do have a lot of depth here, and the competition out there is happening, and you feel the intensity level at the practice. Certainly a lot of pride, both sides of the ball. I feel it in the meeting rooms when I'm watching tape. They're going at one another right now, and poking and jabbing at one another. You can see the friendly fire out there with Dak, with some of the defenders, and going at one another. So, you know, it's very competitive, and certainly these young guys are going to make it even more interesting. You know, the young our young Brooks, our wide receiver, is really making some big plays. He's long. Seems to come really easy to him. He's able to move around all the position groups. Tolbert is starting right where he left off in terms of his offseason back in Dallas. He's come out here, played really well. So a guy like Overshown's doing some really good things. You know, our linebacker from Texas. So we want to get Schoonmaker out there hopefully sooner than later, but because certainly he's a guy we've used a high pick for and want him involved. You know, we're known you know, organizationally as a team that does play and develop their draft picks, and certainly it'd be great to get him out there as well.
Did you steal my notes? I was going to talk to you about draft picks and talk to you about Diggs and Dak talking. You know, there's some trash talking, friendly fire, as you said. So let's go back to the receiver, the receiver part. Jalen Brooks, like you said. Kavontae Turpin is also, it seems like he's getting his feel for the offense. We know what he can do as a returner, but he seems like he's taking a big step as a receiver.
Coach McCarthy and Schottenheimer made it a real priority to get Turp involved in the offense. He's too dynamic in the space. Certainly you can see some of the you know, some of the speed shots they're using with him in terms of the goal, even the goal line, in terms of letting him outrun someone to the corner, although Diggs didn't let him do it to him. He got there in time to make the play. But I do think, you know, Mike's very creative at wanting to utilize some of the skill sets we have on this team, and that includes Turpin, Cooks, A guy like Deuce Vaughn was exciting this week, making some great cuts. And, you know, here at training camp, we don't take our players to the ground when we tackle. I think the defense was calling them down, and I don't know that he would have been down on some of those. He might would have. I think he was spinning out of some of those shots, and there was some of that friendly fire banner back and forth where they were saying, I don't think he was down yet. So we'll see, but it'll be exciting to see these guys, you know, once we get in some of these preseason games, especially where the young guys get a lot of reps to see what they do when the gun goes off.
Yeah, a lot of people have said, well, can they really keep more than one guy that's a short player and a Turpin and a Deuce? And I guess if they're making some plays, yeah. I mean, Miami doesn't seem to have a problem with it. I mean, they got some shorter guys.
They got some shorter guys who can fly. Yeah. Now, we had a great coach around here, Bill Parcells, say if you continue to keep a bunch of exceptions, which meaning smaller, shorter guys, then you become a team of exceptions. But these guys are exceptional, and I think between Schottenheimer and Coach McCarthy, they're going to find ways to utilize their skill sets and give us an advantage.
All right. Well, we're definitely can't wait to see that. We appreciate you stopping by here. This beautiful view here. That's Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. Thank you so much. And